They have built half a city out of what others no longer consider valuable. A settlement made of plastic waste, broken glass and scrap metal. And people make a living from it. This is the home of Johannesburg's waste pickers. Just one settlement among dozens. A colourful footprint of humanity rising high into the sky. Created by illegal land occupiers and considered a no-go area by the police. This is Plastic Waste City. Kotso and Kopano set out once again. It is Tuesday afternoon, their second round of the day. The morning shift is usually more productive, but as the day goes on, enough waste accumulates along the main collection routes. Once again, the trip is worth it for the two waste pickers, even though traffic at this time of day is heavier and more dangerous. Kotso is a 28-year-old construction worker. In 2014, he came to Johannesburg from Lesotho because he could no longer find work in his home country. With no money and no health insurance, he settled illegally with many others in what is known as an informal settlement. They call it Klipsplate Township. Their homes are built from waste. Outside, piles of collected plastic in every color are stacked up, later to be sold to recycling depots. It is all they own. But anyone expecting to find only broken people here would be mistaken. This is a community of independent entrepreneurs. Waste is their livelihood. They are not trying to save the environment, but themselves and their families. They collect, sort, and sell. Not as employees of a company, they are their own bosses. On average, a worker collects 128 kilograms of material per day, with a monthly income of 4,000 rand, the equivalent of about 240 euros. There are 181 informal settlements in Johannesburg. 12,000 people work as waste pickers. 6 million people live in the Johannesburg metropolitan area. About 2 million of them have settled in shanty towns made of corrugated iron, spread across the entire city. Most survive on temporary jobs as day laborers, though some also have regular employment. The 12,000 waste pickers among them are self-employed and usually have to support an entire family. Some have been doing this job for 30 years. The business begins before sunrise. Many are already on the streets at 4 in the morning. Residents put their trash outside before going to bed. As soon as the sun reaches the urban canyons, one thing becomes clear again every single day. Johannesburg has a massive waste problem. There is municipal waste collection and there are recycling companies, but they can no longer cope with the overall flood of garbage. Without them, the streets of Johannesburg would look even worse, because 1/3 of all South Africans has no access to regular waste collection. Mary, her daughter Alice, and her sister Rosalie have been out since 4 in the morning. They are part of the 12,000 waste pickers who pick up what others carelessly throw away. A typical feature of waste pickers around the world is the handcart with a large sack on top.
I'm proud of my work because in my country, there is no work, there is no job anymore. So we've recycled.
Alice comes from Lesotho. She had to leave her 4-year-old daughter behind because of work. In Johannesburg, the job situation is only slightly better. After many mines closed, unemployment here stands at 30%. Urban mining, collecting valuable materials from the streets, is now the only way for many people to earn money. Because they rummage through garbage, most people in society look down on them with contempt. As soon as the sack is full of unsorted waste, they head to the collection point. A waste picker in Johannesburg covers around 10 kilometers every day. From the inner city, they go out to the district where they live and sort their material. Every month, 10,000 migrants from abroad and from other parts of South Africa settle in Johannesburg. There is not only a lot of household waste here, but industrial waste as well. That is why many settlements like this one are located near landfills. Boyson's squatter camp, home to Alice, Mary and Rosalie. They have settled here illegally, together with 50,000 others, on land belonging to a municipal railway company. Tolerated, but marginalized. The city administration would prefer to clear the site. At the same time, non-governmental organizations are fighting with the authorities for the right to stay and for improvements to living conditions. Ellie Kodisang believes that society does not sufficiently acknowledge the real contribution contained in mountains of plastic like this.
This work was collected over 4 days. It's 4 days worth of work. So you can imagine the amount of plastic that gets taken, on a weekly basis.
The workers recover 80 to 90% of discarded recyclable materials. In South Africa alone, that includes 500,000 tons of plastic every year.
So some of this material is dirty like this because people have to dig it out of the soil. Literally, it gets dug out of the soil.
The reason? Masses of industrial packaging film are taken straight to the landfill by waste disposal companies and then buried. The waste pickers climb up and pull the film back out of the ground.
We have things of value that are being buried, in these landfills. And without the people such as these going in and working in these type of areas, then South Africa would run out of landfill space fairly quickly. So you can just imagine all of this plastic that you're seeing represents about a week's worth of plastic. So the reclaimers are taking thousands of tons of plastic, on a yearly basis. These are environmental heroes, men and women who have taken upon themselves to make a living, from that which society throws away.
The city even saves 45 million euros in landfill costs because they keep the dumps from overflowing.
This is the bag from dump. We are taking and sorting all of this separately. This is K4. By the way, we are calling it box. There you go. This one is called PP bags. PP bags. Plastic clean is 3 rand. We are calling it the best because it's heavy. When you stamp it, it's going to be too heavy. That's why we are saying it's the best.
Alice works every day. From 4 in the morning until the afternoon, she collects waste. Then she sorts until 6 in the evening. The money she earns from reselling the material is sent home to her relatives and to her 4-year-old daughter, who is growing up with her grandmother.
I'm only here to work. I like Lesotho. I also went during winter and December. Yeah. Winter to see if my child is well and stay for a month with her. The other day, my child will be in high school, so I have to pay the fee for her. There is no work. We are poor, indeed.
Alice's work has to feed 7 family members. With great diligence and extra hours, the plastic pickers can even reach a monthly income that is 25% above the national minimum wage. The minimum wage for an unskilled labourer in South Africa is the equivalent of about 200 euros a month. For comparison, a waste picker earns around 240 euros a month. They pay no rent and no fees to the city. The settlement itself is structured like a city of its own. Next to the sorting areas of the individual groups lies the residential area, with shops, hair salons and laundries. Prices are much lower than in the supermarket. Clothes and household items are second-hand or have been salvaged from the landfill. The authorities have installed a line for clean drinking water, probably to protect the entire city from the spread of diseases such as cholera. Only a few main paths structure the settlement. Here, the self-built shacks stand packed tightly together. The greatest danger in the plastic settlement is fire, usually caused by open flames. Alice and her mother Mary live in house number 820. They built the shack themselves. Kitchen, shelves, chairs. The entire interior comes from the garbage. The bed stands on cans. Only toothbrushes, cosmetics, and food are bought new. And, as a small luxury, Mary treats herself to an air freshener to drive away the smell of garbage for at least a few minutes. Poor next to rich. Because of extreme social inequality, Johannesburg has a high crime rate and is one of the 10 most dangerous cities in the world. The contrast could hardly be sharper. While a huge landfill stands to the right of this plastic waste township, and sewage plants border the area to the north, on the other side, in direct proximity, a large golf course stretches out. A life between a golf course and a landfill. Most residents simply want to go about their work in peace, but the settlement's existence is under threat.
The city has taken a decision to remove the informal sector, to basically take them out of existence by introducing formal private companies to come in and do recycling. Look, people really are not very keen to be employed by companies. And it's very important for people to decide their hours of work. They make decisions as to where they sell, when they sell. They make decisions as to when they stop work. And in reality, most of the time, the only time that people really shut down is just a few days in December, literally. About 5 or 6 days. Some people don't even do that. They work throughout the year. It's not healthy, I know, but it's a choice.
Waste pickers, self-employed entrepreneurs. As the weekend approaches, business at the collection points picks up. Payday is coming. The recyclers usually sell only when a large quantity has accumulated. They compress plastic film by stomping on it. With water, it works more easily and also makes the bale heavier. Later, buyers deduct up to 20% because of that procedure. After all, payment is based on weight.
What was 100 kilograms when they came in could be up to 180 to 200 kilograms. So you get several people to come in and climb on top of the plastic. Once this is fully compacted, it is 3 rands 50 per kilograms, and he estimates that he is going to get about 1,000 rands.
The equivalent of 60 euros. This is where he gets the money. There are 300 recycling companies in South Africa. Most of them are in Johannesburg, while in Europe, everything revolves around environmental protection. South Africans see recycling first and foremost as a profitable industry that creates jobs. Saidi Chapola, nicknamed 2010, is one of the managers at a recycling depot in the Rudaport, in the northwest of Johannesburg. Every day, trucks arrive, loaded with plastic, metal, or paper. After weighing, the suppliers unload their material in the designated areas. Then the money changes hands.
This is our weigh bridge area, which we got the system where we weigh everything here. So we put number plates and everything, then the car goes to the weigh bridge. This is the main man who works here by the weigh bridge. His name is Shelton. And he's the man who's controlling both of the computers here and everything. He makes sure that everything is being weighed.
And this, one of the customers, every day I'm here. And I'm Prince Milanzi.
Mr. Prince Milanzi.
Here is my truck. Every day I'm here, collecting to Cartonville.
Yeah, he takes the polyprop to Cartonville for palletizing. This is the drivers that they always collect the material.
One of the best drivers in Africa.
Yeah.
At this buying point, truck drivers and individual waste pickers deliver 50 tons of recyclable waste every day. PET and PP, in particular, pile up here.
This type of material is called polyprop. Polyprop is mainly coming from the reclaimers. After when they finish weighing, they throw the material here. Then that's the time we took it to the machines that are inside. It's called a granulator. Yeah. Great. This is the buckets. Whenever the buckets, the chairs, everything, the margarine bottles, these are when it's crushed, when all the material is crushed.
The recyclable materials are shredded into small pieces or pressed into large bales for further processing. At this very moment, a white stream of paper is being pushed out of the central baler like toothpaste.
Then it makes a bale like the way you see here. This time we are baling white paper.
The job of 2010 and his team is to make sure that the bales of recyclables are sorted by type only. Later, in recycling factories, the recovered paper is turned back into paper or tissues. That is why the workers check here already, to make sure that no plastic, metal, or glue residues from bound printed products remain in the pile. Public awareness of waste separation in South Africa has grown. But, as in other countries, things often end up in the paper bin that do not belong there. Here, they are removed again. Unlike in Europe, South Africans do not recycle primarily for environmental reasons. Even so, their recycling rate is better. In South Africa, 46% of plastic goes back into the cycle. Across Europe, the recycling rate is only 31%. That makes South Africa one of the world's top recyclers. That is mainly thanks to the many waste pickers. They are the experts. They know the differences between the materials, and they know their value. The price is the same for everyone, whether it is a simple waste picker with a handcart or a large dealer with a truck. For example, how much does a waste picker get for old PET bottles?
For example, let's say I'm PET, I'm like Coke bottles. That means I'm weighing like 52 point. I don't have much weight. I'm gonna be like 300 rand. Something like that.
Just under 18 euros. Especially in Johannesburg's famous township of Soweto, collecting plastic has become an important source of income. It is a cash business. Payment is made in cash. No charges, no taxes. Prices vary. Sometimes it is worth going the extra mile instead of selling at the nearest buying point in your own township. For Kotso and Kopano, the exciting moment at the end of the week has arrived. They want to sell a sack of old cans. At the dealer in their own township of Klipsprut, he asks about the price and does the math. Possibly, on this day, you could get a little more at a recycling depot 5 kilometers away. But the extra time involved seems too great. Kotso and his partner Kopano decide to turn the sack into cash here and now. Their sack of cans, collected over more than 2 weeks, weighs 82.5 kilograms.
It's 660 rand.
The equivalent of 40 euros. Cash is king. Kotso is satisfied. Alice thinks the same way. She recycles to make a better life possible for her daughter. But the recognition she deserves for her work is denied to her.
South Africans, they are just calling us Malala pipe. When they see us collecting, pulling out our trolley, they're saying, oh, Malala pipe. They are throwing evening rubbishes. So we collect them and pour in the dustbin and collect our things. They are polluting the environment. We are helping them, we clean, but they don't consider what we are doing.
The plastics industry itself has calculated that South Africa's waste pickers recycle so much plastic that the crude oil saved in the process could keep 200,000 cars on the road for a year, each driving 30,000 kilometers. For Alice, that is a luxury she could never afford. She wants only one thing: for her daughter back home to be able to go to school.